Hey everyone, so as you'll be well aware if you've been keeping up with my videos, I've started doing these monetization videos, haven't I, for Eve Echoes, whereby I look at a certain event that's heavily monetized and I say, how much does it cost? How much does this item cost? But more recently, with me playing other mobile games outside of Eve Echoes, it's kind of occurred to me, all of the different traits that there are with regards to monetization in mobile games especially. And I figured, why not start a video series whereby I look at individual free-to-play games, whether it's on the computer or on the mobile phone, most likely on the mobile phone, because that's where I've got the most time to actually play around with these things. I look at these games individually and I go, how bad is the monetization? How bad is it compared to everything else we've seen so far? And why not start with Eve Echoes? Why not start with Eve Echoes? And yeah, so that is the purpose of today's video. This is going to be the first video in that series, which I think I'm going to be calling something along the lines of, is it free to play or is it really free to play? The naming is still up in the air, but I'm sure the thumbnail will reflect it when I've finally settled on the idea. But anyway, so what this is going to come down to, and I'll have it up on screen in that direction if I'm pointing the right way. I need to keep my hands on the screen. I'm going to have an 8-pointed star. This star is going to be from the Warhammer 40k universe, obviously, as you can see right now. Each one of these stars is going to be filled in, coloured in, still figuring that out in the editing stage, but each point is going to represent something bad with regards to monetization. So throughout each of my videos, I'm going to be filling out this star as we go around it, with every point being one bad thing. And if you've got a full star of chaos, then you are a representation of ultimate evil. Now, spoiler alert for people who want me to completely demolish Eve Echoes and complain about it left, right and centre, it will not have a completed star, so it will not be the ultimate representation of complete evil. So that's just going to be the quick spoiler alert right there. So let's get into it, shall we? So what's the first point on this pointed star then? Well, first up, we have, is progression capped as a free-to-play player? So how far can you get as a free-to-play player? And I'm not 100% certain, but I believe it's tech level 7 that you are capped at in Eve Echoes, whereby as a free-to-play player, you cannot go any further within the game once you have reached that particular tech level. I'm certain if I go and find the correct place within the game right now, if I can actually figure out where that is, it will tell us. So if you bear with me one moment, we will figure out exactly where the cap is, if it will even tell me. And there we go. A little fast forwarding later and we found it. So, tech level 7 and above is unlocked by being a paying player with the subscription, that being the Duo Omega. Or just regular Omega, you don't have to be Duo to unlock tech level 7 and above. So yes, progression is capped as a free-to-play player. That said, it isn't technically capped as a free-to-play player because you can grind for resources to earn Plex in the game and buy that Plex off of the in-game marketplace. Plex that other players have seeded through actual purchases. So you can, through grinding, and unfortunately for new players the grinding is a little bit difficult, but on a technicality side of things, you can progress all the way up to tech level 10 without paying. So progression isn't capped as a free-to-play. That's one good thing that's going in Eve Echoes' favour. Of course, it would be a little bit better if it was actually feasible for a new player to grind those resources to maintain Omega. But let's be honest, that's a topic for a whole other video. So anyway, let's move on to the next topic, which of course is the subscription model. Does it have a subscription model? And technically I should have put this first. But hey ho, this is how my brain works, I guess. So yes, it does have a subscription model. And again, just like the previous example, you can pay for it with earned resources within the game itself. So these 2 points on the star I'm really kind of struggling with. Do I partly fill them? Do I give it a half point for each one of these? That's probably what I'm going to be doing with this one. because you do have a subscription model and progression is capped unless you really heavily grind. So I'm probably going to merge these two into the single point for this particular video, and hopefully I won't have to do that in successive videos. But let's move on. Is there a battle pass or season pass in addition to there being the subscription model? And the answer is yes, there is. We have the battle pass, and as you can see, I don't subscribe to the battle pass anymore. I don't have any need for it. I've already acquired more resources than I'm ever going to actually use out of this battle pass because I don't play the game as much as I used to. But anyway, as we see here, we have a battle pass. So yes, that is another point on the evil star of chaos monetization thingy. I need to move my chair. My right hand is going off screen an awful lot in this video. It's like there's no point even using it, is there? So yes, so that's another completed star on this star of chaos. Yeah, I'm still working on that. I'm probably gonna have to throw in some like snippets from the Dawn of War games here just to add a little bit more character, let's say.
No! Fool, you have damned us all.
Anyway, let's move on. So can premium currency be earned free to play? So in Eve Echoes, we have two premium currencies, of course. We have Plex and we have Aurum. Those are our two premium currencies. Anyway, let's head to the store so that we can actually see examples of this. So we have our Aurum, which we have to purchase with real life money. That is our top tier premium currency. Our secondary tier premium currency is Plex, which you can get through these methods that you can kind of see up on screen right now. Here, the one we're interested in is Aurum, because Aurum is what allows us to actually buy things from the in-game store. So whenever new nanocores come out, for example, or if we want to purchase the Concord Pass, we have to pay with Aurum. That's the premium currency that we care about in this particular video. And we can't earn it in-game at all. The point of it is, it's not earnable through actual gameplay. You have to purchase it. Now that is, of course, going down as a full point on the star for this video. And yes, there are examples out there of games whereby you can earn the premium currency through gameplay, and all you have to do is just play the game. And if you don't want to play the game, if you don't have the time to play those games and do all of the grinding, you can just buy to skip the grind. In this case, where Aurum is concerned, there is no grind, you just buy it, or you don't buy it. In my case, mostly don't buy it, but hey ho. So yeah, that is the next point on our star, and I'm sure I'll find a way to make these videos more entertaining as the series goes on.
The boss? Who is getting shot up? You the master of the obvious.
But anyway, let's have a look at the next one, which is loot boxes. And yeah, we do have loot boxes in this game. They tend to vary in shape and size depending upon the actual event and how global politics are going at the time, you know, what countries are moving to ban what. So, for example, let's have a look at this Neon Gas Lucky Chest. This is probably the easiest example we have of a loot box, whereby, of course, let's have a look at the probabilities. Here we go. Of course, they have to publish this because of the laws in various countries, the actual statistics, the drop rates and so on. So here we can see just pretty much everything that you can get out of this loot box, and if you go down to the bottom you get told these are your guaranteed rewards. Now most people that open these boxes are not going to be interested whatsoever in the loot box mechanic side of it, you know, what bits they get by luck. They're most likely just going to be buying as many boxes as they need to get this guaranteed reward. But that's this guaranteed reward, not interested. This is still a loot box. It's just a loot box with a little bit of a playing around going on, just to make sure that governments don't get too upset. And it's at this point in the video I've realised I need to disable that little icon on OBS. There we go. Yeah, that's probably going to be there for most of the video. Oh well, let's carry on. So, the Neon Gas Lucky Chest. We have that in game at the moment. And of course, we have events that pop up every now and again with different kinds of chests. For example, the chest that you could get the Science C out of. In fact, if I recall, there should be an event active at the moment if I know where to look, because I don't go in the store very often, do I? So let's have a look. Do I actually know where to look? Here we go. This should be an example of the current event loot box, and it is the Starry Neon Rain draw box. I didn't even know this was here, to be honest. But anyway, yeah. So that's our point on this star filled out if I haven't said it already. The next question is the store in your face? Is it in your face? When you first boot up the game, what is the first thing you are greeted with? And of course, the first thing you're greeted with will change depending on where you log into the game. If you log in space, then you'll just be in space. That will be how it is. If you log in a citadel or a high-sec station, low-sec station, NPC station, whatever it may be, you'll see the event screen, the first bit of the event screen, in this case, Starry Night Flight. And in Capsuleer Outposts, you won't see anything because it always just fails to load for whatever reason. The point that I'm getting at here is in all of those examples that I just laid out, in none of them are you presented with the store page. At no point does the game pop up with a big store icon and say, today's special offer, buy this before you miss out. Buy this while it's discounted. You have 8 hours remaining to buy it. Check out this exciting new store item. You don't get any of that. You don't get any of that. The store is not in your face. Yes, we do have this tiny little button in the bottom, in the left-hand side of the screen, whereby you can claim this one daily item for free and be reminded about the fact you can buy these other things. But this is a tiny little button that a good number of players have probably forgotten exists anyway. I mean, there are days that I forget to click that for that daily freebie as part of my logins. But anyway, so that is a good point. We don't have to fill out a point on this star for Eve Echoes here because it doesn't have the store in our face. The amount of really abusive monetization methods when it comes to capital nanocores, for example, but it doesn't throw it in our face. It doesn't try to manipulate us into that purchase. So that's one good thing. Now, the next item is free-to-play competitive? And this is another hazy one because Eve is very unique in the sense that it's a multiplayer game. It's a multiplayer game in the sense that it doesn't matter how much money you spend on your nanocore. If there's enough people up against you that have hot dropped you, it doesn't matter because they'll kill you anyway. Because it's not a fair one-on-one fight, is it? It's not like a duel like with Yu-Gi-Oh! Whereby you build the best possible deck by getting all of the best possible cards and then you win every single duel against someone who doesn't have those same cards. No. You could have the best deck in existence in this... you could have the best ship in existence in this case. But if there are 15 people shooting at you in ships that are only one tier below you, you're going to die anyway. You're going to die anyway. So, is free-to-play competitive? Yes, it is competitive. Of course, if you want to be getting the best possible times in the Dormant Realm in a capital ship with a fully spec'd out nanocore and get to the highest point on the charts, no, it's not competitive in that sense. If you were to do one-on-one duels with a premium nanocore, again, you need Aurum to get that premium nanocore. But for regular gameplay, can you actually play with a big alliance and take part in big fleet fights? Can you manufacture what you want to manufacture? Can you go and shoot at rats? You can do all of that. You can do all of that within the free-to-play experience. So again, we don't need to fill out this particular point on this particular star. That leaves us, lastly, with our events time-gated with purchases to skip. I really need to figure out how I'm going to abbreviate that one because that's quite a bit of a mouthful at the moment. But you guys will be familiar with what I'm on about here. So you'll have seen it in some other games, maybe in the early days of Facebook games when they started popping up like Farmville and stuff. I don't use Facebook anymore, so I don't know if they're still a thing. Let me know in the comments section below if they are. But it's where, say, you perform an action within the game. And then the game says, okay, you need to wait 3 hours before you can do anything again. Before you can plant this plant or chop down this tree, you need to wait 3 hours. Or you can give us 50 pence and we'll do it now for you. And then the next one will cost 60 pence and then 70 pence. And every single action costs you money, you know. And if you don't want to spend money, you just got to wait this amount of time. And the amount of time will always get bigger, further encouraging you to spend money. That's where we're going with this one. And in Eve Echoes, I really struggled to find an example of this, whereby you've got a timer and a way to actually skip the timer with a purchase. Now, of course, you could look at the Concord Pass and say, okay, I want to skip the first week's worth of grinding by buying the Elite Partner Pass, whereby you get 10 levels instantly. You could say that, but that's kind of on a technicality. The closest thing I have found to it, and this is something that's not going to come up for all that many people, is jump clones. Yeah, jump clones. If you jump in a jump clone, and unfortunately I've not jumped recently enough to be able to demonstrate this, but you'll have seen it before. If you jump in a jump clone and then you need to jump again, but you still have a timer going, saying, okay, you've jumped, you've got a 36-hour cooldown, you've got 12 hours left. If you want to jump right here, right now, with the timer still going, it will cost you this much plex. That's the closest thing I've found. And even then, I believe, of course I don't have the example in front of me, but from what I recall, it is always plex, it's not aurum. So it is that resource that you can grind for through in-game gameplay and just buy off the marketplace. So we don't need to fill out this star, because this is the only example I could think of, and you could... It's that rare and minute. Not minute, what's the word that I'm looking for? I know the word. I know the word. It'll come back to me. Niche. So of course, in this particular example, it is extremely niche. Not only is it niche, but we can actually do this with in-game resources. We don't have to go to the store and actually hand over money to perform this task. So again, we don't need to fill out this particular star. So those are the points. How many have we got? Well, let's just do a fancy animation if I can figure it out up on the screen and keep my... Yeah, I'm just not going to bother trying to keep my arm in the screen. So after having 2 of these points kind of half filled and combining into one, we have a total of 4 points on the Star of Chaos. Yeah, 4 out of 8. That's not too bad. So that's not too bad. Eve Echoes could be a lot worse. It could be a lot more manipulative, but at the same time, it could have a lot less points, let's be honest. In my next video, I'll be looking at one of the other mobile games that I've been playing in recent history. Whether that will be Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links or Master Duel, I'm not entirely sure yet, but that will be a good comparison for those of you that are wondering, is Eve Echoes really that good value for money? But I'm not going to go with any spoilers here. If you want to check out those games yourselves, feel free. So if you are interested in learning what the mobile game space is kind of like, or the free-to-play game space is like with regards to monetization and how it compares to Eve Echoes, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It might be twice a month, it might be once a month. I'm not entirely certain about the schedule yet, but I will be continuing to put out videos that will allow you to compare against Eve Echoes' 4-star rating. 4-point rating? 4-star rating? I don't really know. What do you guys reckon? 4-star rating or 4-point rating? I still need to figure out how I'm actually going to be talking about this. But anyway, feel free to hit that subscribe button as we slowly make our way to 1,000 subscribers. And until the next video, fly dangerous, fly casual, don't spend too much, and see you in the next video. Cheers. Ah.